This phone is my first mobile phone. It's a Nokia 2110. The functionality is simple, but technologically we can say it's complicated. The reason I say it's complicated and not complex is that if you're an expert, if you really understand the technology, everything about this phone is fully predictable. Over the last 20 years, there's been a rapid change and acceleration in technology, and nowadays most of us have iPhones, iPads, iPods. Even though the technology has advanced, we can still say that technology such as this is complicated and not complex, because we can still fully understand the system if we actually understand the technology behind it. However, when we look at a system such as a plant, when we study it, we come to realize that it's not complicated, but it's complex. It's a living system full of chaotic elements and very, very, very complex interactions. And what businesses are coming to realize is that they now have to think less like a machine, and they have to think of their organizations more as living systems. When organizations come to really study chaos and complexity theory, and when they think about their organizations as living systems, they're able to realize that they can now develop an organization that is resilient, adaptive, creative, can deal with ambiguity, and can also react to rapid change in the world. So yes, there's definitely a reason why organizations now really should study organic and dynamic, complex and chaotic systems. Over the last few centuries, our thinking has come to be dominated in the West by scientific thinking, and we don't actually realize this. This type of thinking understands a system really just in terms of the parts. It breaks problems down into parts. Therefore, we can say it's mechanistic, reductionist, analytical, symbolic, rational, and abstract. This type of knowledge has been amazing in terms of allowing us to create amazing pieces of technology, but we're realizing its limitations in terms of understanding organic, dynamic systems such as plants, and in fact, every system in nature. The way in which we truly understand an organic and dynamic system in nature is to use every part of our thinking, so that rather than just understanding a plant rationally, we have to also be in the sensory realm. We really have to look at an organic system without being affected by our rational thinking. We need to use our notions of feeling as well. So for example, although we can talk about sustainability, we can think about sustainability unless we feel the connectivity in nature, unless we feel our connection with nature, we're never going to be motivated to change our behavior. And finally, we really need to use our intuitive minds, that part of our mind that can comprehend a system, but it doesn't actually comprehend it in terms of abstract, symbolic knowledge or thinking. It's almost a way of thinking in which we can comprehend the system, but we fail to be able to really articulate it. We just come to know the system in our intuition. So if organizations really look at these different ways of thinking and knowing the world, it's a way in which we can expand and extend our thinking and our consciousness in order to lead us into new creative insights that will really help us understand and overcome the many challenges we're facing today, challenges that we face in our personal lives and of course our organizational and working lives. This type of thinking really needs to be taken on board by many more organizations, and it's incredible the insights that you can really gain when you fully understand how to move in to these other ways of knowing complex and organic systems. Thinking is quite possibly the most important source of competitive advantage in today's knowledge economy. And yet organisations are not helping develop thinking in their employees. All organisations are searching for new business models, and as we've seen, many of these business models are inspired by nature. Therefore, it's important to study systems models. However, before we can really understand the true insights that come from studying complex and chaotic systems in nature, we really have to first take a look at our own mental models, because it's our own mental models that can constrain us and really prevent us from understanding what the complex systems in nature are really teaching us, what the true insights are. Our mental models consist of theories, frameworks and paradigms, and if we can understand our own mental models, then if we can throw them away, we can then reach new levels of creativity and new levels of innovation, as I said, inspired by nature, that will then really deliver truly valuable new business models for this chaotic and complex age we're now living in. When I now look at how I understand a complex system now, compared to how I understood complex systems before going to Schumacher College, I now realise that I was only really understanding a complex system using the left part of my brain. I was really trying to analyse a system, but I was understanding systems, nature, reality in an abstract manner. When I went to Schumacher College, I really learnt to use all of my ways of knowing, and I just feel that my whole consciousness went through a great transformation, and now I completely see the world in a different way, and it's this way of seeing that I'm now teaching and discussing here at Sustentare in Joinville in Brazil, and I'm just so happy to be able to share these insights with all the students and staff who come here.